Morning, everybody. How are you today? It's Tuesday. I am sharing a new video with you regarding our story. The stories Julian tells. And in the story, Julian and Huey had some fun with their dad. In the end, they had fun with their dad and they made lemon pudding. And they made it for their mom. They got their beating and their whooping. And what that really meant was that they had to beat the eggs and whip the egg whites to make the lemon pudding. And I thought, you know what? I would really like to make lemon pudding because I love lemons. And in the way it was described in the story, the mom said that it tasted like a whole night on the sea, a raft of lemons. So it must have been really lemony, excuse me, and really yummy. So who doesn't love pudding? So I went looking for a recipe because I don't know how to make lemon pudding. So I am going to share this with you today, do a little lesson about the kind of numbers that are in the recipe. And then I want you guys to gather your ingredients and get back with me later on. My next video that I submit will be me and you making lemon pudding. So here's what we need for lemon pudding. So look at those numbers. And I'll talk about the ingredient and the numbers. So then it says up here, 3/4 cup sugar, 1/4 cup cornstarch, 1/2 cups milk. I kind of know what that means. 3 large eggs. I definitely know what that means. That means I need to get some eggs, and I need 3 of them. 2 tablespoons. That's the abbreviation for tablespoons, TBS. Finely grated lemon zest. So that's like taking a lemon and scraping it on this scraper to get some of this rind off, and it makes a very tangy flavor. So I got that. Pinch of salt means a little bit of salt, and then it says 1/2 cups fresh lemon juice and 2 tablespoons unsalted butter. So some of these numbers I recognize and some I don't understand. Do you remember what these kind of numbers are? We were kind of talking about them a little bit before the pandemic hit. Yeah, those are fractional numbers, and so we're going to do a little bit of work today. Let me move this down so you can see. I have my little classroom here. So we can do some work today on fractions. What do you guys remember about fractions? I know that I gave you, 1 second. Where did I put it? I had everything ready here. I gave you guys some strips when we were in school. I gave you like a bar like this, and I said that's 1 whole bar. Then I gave you another sheet. It was a red sheet, and I asked you how much you had, and you told me you had 1 whole. And then we decided we were going to divide those into 2 equal parts, and I could tell they were equal because I put one on top of the other. And then we said, what is this bar compared to this bar? How much of this bar is this bar? And you guys determined that it was 1/2. It took 2 pieces to make up the same size as this whole. And so one of those pieces was 1 out of 2, so 1/2. So I recognize what 1/2 is. And we have that 1/2 right there, 1/2. So this is actually two whole things plus a half. So I kind of understand this. 2 whole cups of milk plus a 1/2 cup of milk. I also know in the story, Julian's dad started with 5 lemons. All right, he started with 5 lemons and he cut each lemon in half. I don't have 5 lemons there. Let's see. I have a bag of lemons here. And I could take 5 lemons out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of my bag. And I would cut those in half. Julian's dad cut them in half. And so we ended up with something like this. So if I put these 2 pieces together, if these were the two, because I cut these before because I was making something. I put these two pieces together. A half plus a half makes a whole. So I have 1/2 and 2/2. When I have 2/2, how much do I have? I have 1 whole, just like my fraction strips. 1/2 plus 1/2 makes 1 whole thing. So Julian's dad took 5 lemons. He cut them in half. I wonder how much I have here in my bag. I have all my lemons. Sorry, I have all my lemons, and they're each cut in half. 1 out of 2 pieces, 1/2. 1/2. 1/2. Let me put it right here. 1/2. Oh, I have to go farther away. 1/2. 2/2. Come back, runaway lemons. 3/2. Now, do I have more than a whole lemon or less than a whole lemon? Well, 2/2 makes 1 whole. So I have 1 plus a half. So I actually have more than a whole right here. 1/2. How much do I have? 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 4/2. Those would make. Now I have 4/2, 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 4/2. I have 4/2, but how many whole lemons do I have? 1 whole lemon, 2 whole lemons. Plus I have another half. So I actually have 2.5 lemons. 2.5, 1/2, 1 whole, 2 wholes, plus another half. So that's like this number up in my recipe. I have 2.5 cups of milk. So when I actually use the milk, I'm going to get 2 whole cups, 1 whole cup, 2 whole cups, plus a half of a cup. So this fractional number here lets me know that I don't need a whole one. I only need part of one. So I understand the 2.5. I understand 3 whole large eggs. I understand 2 whole tablespoons of lemon zest, the pinch of salt, a half a cup of lemon juice. I get that. Like I would have a whole cup, but I don't need a whole cup. I only need part of a cup. I only need half a cup. So I understand that. So the rest of these numbers, the 3 out of 4 and the 1 out of 4, are also fractional numbers. These are not whole amounts. These are parts of something. So let's see what that might look like. So let's see. I might have something like this. I might have 4 jelly beans, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I eat some of the jelly beans, if I eat this jelly bean right here, I'll put this eaten one over here. Did I eat all of the jelly beans? No, I only ate a fraction of them. Well, what fraction of the jelly beans did I eat? I ate 1 out of the 4. So that would be like saying I ate 1/4 of the jelly beans. 1/4 of the jelly beans. All right. Well, I could eat this much of the jelly beans. I could eat a bigger amount of them. 1, 2, 3. I ate 3 jelly beans. But I could also say I didn't eat all of the jelly beans. I only ate part of the set of jelly beans. I ate 1, 2, 3 out of 4. So I ate 3/4. So that fractional number up there lets us know it's not going to be a whole cup. It's only going to be 3/4 of a cup. So let's talk real quickly about what fractions could look like in other situations. I could have a set of eggs right here. They keep rolling off my demonstration area. This is some candy. You know why? To turn this over. So I have some chocolate eggs here. How much do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a set that's divided up into 5 parts. That's what I need. And are they all the same? They're all the same size eggs, but part of them are blue, part of them are green, and part of them are pink. So I might say, what fraction of my set is pink? Well, how many do I have that are pink? I have one that's pink. Out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would say I have 1/5 that is pink. Not the whole set is pink. How much of my set, what fraction of my set is green? Well, let's see. 1, 2. I have 2 that are green. Out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 2/5 of my set that are green. All right. And what fraction of my set are blue? Well, let's see. 1, 2. 2 are blue. How much do I have altogether? 2, 3, 4, 5. So the number in the bottom, that denominator, that number at the bottom, the 5, lets me know how many parts I divided my set into. My set has 5 chocolates. The top number tells me what I'm talking about. Well, in this case, for pink, I have 1 out of the 5. We call that 1/5. For the green, I have 2 out of 5. We call that 2/5. That's a bigger amount than 1/5, isn't it? And 2/5 again for the blue. So that's another way that we can talk about fractions. You might remember at school doing some work where you had, say, I'll put these to the side. One more thing I'm going to talk to you about. You might have, like, say, a square or a rectangle or any other shape. And you might take that shape and you might divide it up into parts. And we talked about equal parts, a fair share. So in this, we have how many parts? Yeah, we have 4 parts. If I do something to one of those parts, say I shade one of those parts, do I have all of my shape shaded? No, I only have part of it shaded. That number, that fraction, lets us know, tells us how much of that shape is shaded. So how many? I have 1 piece out of how many? How many pieces altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be another way to say 1/4. So if we look at this amount up here, 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch, it's only going to be part of a cup. So this is one way for us to talk about fractions as well. So in your story, the story Julian tells, they make lemon pudding. I'm going to come back to you later and I'm going to share with you a lemon pudding demonstration. I would like you guys to gather your materials. You are going to need sugar. You're going to need cornstarch. You're going to need some milk or cream. You're going to need eggs, and we're going to learn how to separate the eggs. We're gonna zest up some lemon. We are going to take a pinch of salt. We're going to have some fresh lemon juice that we're going to squeeze from our lemon halves. We're going to cut our lemons in half, and we're going to squeeze the lemons to get the juice out. That's going to be fun. And if I get more than a half a cup, I'm just going to add it because that's me, because I want it to be real lemony. And we're going to need some butter. So gather your materials. In your journals today, I'd like you guys to write down what it is that you understand about what we talked about. What do these numbers mean? 3, 4, 3/4, 1/4, 2.5. Okay, how does that relate to this idea of fractions that we've been studying in school? I hope everybody stays safe. I hope everybody's having a good time and you are enjoying the learning that you're doing. Make sure you go on Seesaw. I have uploaded some lessons for you, and I'm going to start putting in an assignment a day for you guys to work on. And I'd also like to see how you're doing. Show me your work. All right, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.